Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. His name is Izayah Boss. He is a running back out of Minnesota Morris. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, Minnesota Morris, people really may not know that that's a school. It's a Division III school out of the UMAC. They're the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference. And dude, you have been killing it in that conference since you got there. But let's go ahead and paint the picture, set the groundwork before we get rolling. Isaiah, introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
I am Izayah Boss. I am from Bothell, Washington.
Gotcha. So Bothell, Washington. When I was looking things up for you, went to North Creek High
Yeah.
School there.
hmm
Let's pause there and let's talk about North Creek. I know it's been a minute since you've been there, but some fond memories perhaps that you have back at your old stomping grounds.
Oh, I mean, probably one of the best ones was just the fact that it was just a new school. When I first got in there, it was, I believe it's third year being an actual school. I hadn't even had a graduating class yet. Um, and just I think fondest memory I could probably have was one of my first practices on the team. Was just doing normal routine play. Got stepped on and ended up not playing for probably half of my first season. It was probably the fondest, not the greatest memory, but probably the first one that comes to mind.
Well, maybe a little setback, but hasn't stopped you. You've
Mhm.
picked yourself up and done well for yourself. I mean, I know it's taking you back, what, like 8, 9 years or something crazy like that.
Right. Yeah.
But certainly that's where you got your, I guess, athletic journey started, at least from most people's understanding. But how
Mhm.
long have you played football? I mean, did you play it long before then or what?
Oh yeah, I started playing football back when I was five in Pee Wee football.
Gotcha. So along with football, also have you as a track athlete there at Minnesota Morris, which
Yep.
hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about that as well.
hmm
But prior to you getting to college, did you play any other sports?
No, I did not. I had only done football at the time.
Dude, I think that that's interesting because, dude, had you done a little bit more track, who knows? Because so far you're doing pretty well at that as well there at Morris. So, uh,
Mhm.
been fun. But let's get to talking about your journey. So, like, you come out of North Creek High School there, out of the state of Washington, and you start off actually at Montana State Northern there in the
Mhm.
NAIA. Can you talk about your recruiting and how you got there? And well, we'll walk through the rest of this thing. So go for it.
Recruiting, it was definitely it was a learning process. I would say there was definitely a lot of things being thrown at me, but I would my high school coach at the time, Tori Myers, helped me a lot and got me in contact with a lot of schools, and Montana State University Northern reached out. And out of all of the other schools that I had seen and that were reaching out that I was talking to, it was just where I felt the most comfortable. Just it being a small town in a program that was looking to build itself up, along with the scheme that they're running in the offense. It was just something that really caught my eye, opposed from the other schools. And then just so it turns out that the coach at MSUN had been a part of a coaching staff with my high school coach. So there was just a lot of conversation there and just, built on that relationship between the two of them. And I just, when it came time to sign the papers, that's just where I wanted to be at the time.
Well, it certainly made sense. I mean, if there's a relationship, it's nice to I guess follow the wave, and get
Mhm.
yourself there. They obviously gave you your first opportunity, your first start. I do want to get a chance to move on to the great things you're doing right now. But
Mhm.
let's pause there for a second. Any memories or anything you'd like to share about your time there at Montana State Northern?
Um, I would say the dinners the day before games. I just feel like that was really a good chance to just for everyone to sit down, come together, collect their thoughts, and enjoy being around each other as more than just teammates, but friends and family, and just be able to come together and make sure we're all in the same mindset before the game, if anything.
Gotcha. You had mentioned dinners, and I was looking at your profile there at MSU Northern, and then now at Minnesota Morris. Seems like you put on a little bit of weight, so you ate a lot of them dinners there that you're talking
Oh yeah,
about. So,
yeah.
what's your current height and weight? Can we just put that out there for people?
I'm currently 5'8", 200, 205 around there.
So yeah, like I said, put on some weight
Yeah.
since coming to college. I think a lot of people do that. Heck, I did that. It's just natural. But
Hmm.
hopefully, you did it in the good way and not how I did it, which was just some, just taking advantage of breakfasts and stuff like that and pigging out. But hey, get us to Minnesota Morris. How'd you end up there?
So towards the end of my career at MSUN, I had already kind of had in my mind that I was going to be transferring at the end of the season. And funny enough, I had one of my high school best friends that currently goes here. Once he had heard that I was entering the transfer portal, he gave my contact information to one of our coaches here. Um, and we had got in touch. Just once again, another small town with another system that I really liked. And just from what I had heard from players on the team that I got in touch with, and and the coaches, it was a lot of good things, and I thought it was time for a fresh start in a new place that I thought was going in the right direction, and it was something that I wanted to be a part of. So I figured, why not take a step in Minnesota?
Hey, it certainly worked out for you. I mean, you talk about things kind of working towards your favor, and it seems as if since you've been there at Morris that you're just the bell cow, man. Like they're just giving you the ball like 100 times a game. I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course, but I mean, damn, it seems like it at times because like, dude, you're carrying the ball a lot. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
that much. They certainly trust you, and the offense there kind of works heavily in your favor. Talk about
Mm-hmm.
the offense there at Minnesota Morris, and a little bit more about how your role is there.
I think the offense is. I think it's really good, seeing as how a lot of the plays that we call are meant to get certain people the ball and work towards what they're good at, and but also in ways that creates mismatches between the defense and us. Um, and yeah, it works. I would say it works a lot of my favor just because we like to do two back, um, which just gives a lot more opportunity for those mismatches between us and the linebackers. But also when we go single back, I mean, it's a lot of downhill running, and also just all different types of running downhill to the outside, counters, things like that. Um, I'm sorry. What else was it that you wanted me to speak
No,
about?
you're good. I mean, you've kind of gotten us there, and so let me follow that train of thought with this. Isaiah, what is maybe like your favorite call that you like to hear, like favorite play call that you like to run for your offense there? Give us a sneak peek at that.
I mean, it's the good old reliable inside zone. I mean, because I feel like with inside zone, there's so many things that you can do depending on um, what that front seven does, if anything. Uh, I mean, inside zone. it works in almost any situation. I feel like, except for like third and 17, unless you get lucky. But um, yeah, I would say just the good old hand it off to the running back, let him go figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously utilizing things like patience, good vision, and certainly when given the opportunity, just you know, getting some bursts and utilizing your speed to get downfield and get some yards. So
Mhm.
hey, like you said, it's a lot of people's bread and butter, a lot of people's favorite call that they love hearing. So
Mhm.
again, like I had mentioned, uh, really used as a bell cow there, carries the ball a lot, and a guy who I feel could be a pro prospect. So when you look at yourself who could obviously find his way at the professional level, what do you feel separates you from the other talent?
I feel like the way I use my speed, but also change of direction. I feel like that's a way that I can just maneuver my way through a defense, no matter what's going on the field, no matter the situation. I mean, because I feel like in any situation, speed's a really big factor. But I mean, when you're the fastest guy out there, but you can also change your change of direction is also the best on the field. I feel like you put those two things together, and it makes you stand out from everybody else.
Gotcha. So are you, Isaiah, indeed the fastest guy out there? Are you pretty confident that you're the fastest guy on the field at all times?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
That's hey, I just had to throw that at you. What about some of your teammates, man? Let's just give them a little bit of love.
Mhm.
Who there at Morris is a sleeper that people need to know? Somebody who's very hard work.
Ethan Tang. Yeah, Ethan Tang. He's our outside throw it up and go get it wide receiver. Um, and it's just, but he's also one of those guys that can get in and out of cuts on the routes and just get open in space, no matter where he's out on the field, the outside, the slot. But also just his blocking is the best in the conference. I mean, it gets no better than that when it comes to blocking on the outside from him.
It's awesome that you boast about your wide receiver's ability to block for you. I think it's funny to say that. It's spoken like a true running back. Um, great. So again, been at a couple different schools, utilized in different offenses, been around a lot of people that have influenced you as an athlete, both teammates, coaches, friends, family. Who would you say has been the biggest influence for you throughout your journey?
Throughout my journey, I would definitely say my mom. She, I think, has instilled a lot of things in me that I carry to this day, whether it's on the field, off the field. And it's just a lot that I feel like helps me as a player, but also just as a human being. Uh, just, yeah.
Well, hey, let's just be real. Usually, your mom is your biggest fan since birth,
Hmm.
and she's been cheering you on ever since you picked up a football. Also, probably cheering you on as you're running on the track, man. You're running track there from Morris,
Hmm.
and doing pretty well at it. Last I checked, you were sprinting 100-meter dashes and like 10-9 or something crazy like that. Talk
Hmm.
about your time on the track and maybe how it's influenced you as a football player.
Time out on the track. I mean, it's been a blast. In all honesty, at first I thought it was something that I wouldn't really enjoy, but I feel like uh, the competitiveness of the sport is just what makes it so fun for me. But I think it also helps me when it comes to like that burst of speed. Coming out of a cut in that first step, just getting out as fast as possible because I thought I knew how to run. Just from all my years of football, and then I get in the track, and my teammates and people that I run against, they really show me what it's like being a different type of fast than everybody. And I definitely take a big part of everything that I learned in track, and I try to apply it to football, and I try to use that to help me stay being the fastest guy and possibly try to get even faster, if anything.
Gotcha. So, how did that work out actually? Because I mean, as you had mentioned, didn't really run track until you
Mhm.
got to Minnesota Morris. Were you encouraged to do track? Were you just thinking, hey, why not? Let me walk on, because
Mhm.
I need it. Like, how did that work?
So another funny story. My roommate's girlfriend, she was doing track at the time, and just she would always come up to me and talk to me about like, hey, you should come join track, and I think it'll be really fun. I think you would do like really good at it. And I always kind of gave her the, oh, I don't know, especially with like spring training and stuff like that. And then I got in contact with the head track coach at the time, and we had sat down, we had talked about the timing aspect of it, of like how I could do track, but also do spring ball, and how lenient it is for dual sport athletes. And one day I was just like, why not? All these people are talking to me about it. It seems like it could be fun. So I bought the spikes, went out there the first day. I embarrassed myself a little bit. I will lie. Learning how to come out of the blocks was a learning curve for me. Um, but yeah, once I got out there, and my teammates really started showing me how to do things, teaching me. Um, I don't know what it was. I just kind of latched onto it.
Well, at least you brought the spiked shoes, man. Heaven forbid you come out there with something else. I remember having those spike shoes at times because I mean it's been forever, but there's a little different feel in them
Mhm.
as you're on that rubber track as
Yeah.
opposed to being on a field or any other surface. So I mean it does take a little getting used to. I
Mhm.
will say that. So and maybe perhaps for you it isn't so bad because you don't have people chasing after you that want to kill you on the track. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a break in some ways
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you're not getting like slammed to the ground. So,
Mhm.
obviously, if you're on the ground, something's wrong in track. So let's,
I did something wrong if that's the case.
yeah, let's be real. Uh, so let's talk about your highlights as an athlete. And of course, you as a running back there for Morris. And bro, you have had some great games this season, going over actually 250 yards on a couple separate occasions. And
Mhm.
dude, that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment. But in your eyes, what has been like your best memory or best game to date?
Best game to date, I would say last year when we were playing for the conference title, we were playing against school in UMAC by the name of Northwestern. I think that was just my best game in general. I mean, there was, just the feeling that I had on every run, and I made the right plays at the right time for us to win at the end of the game, and just that great feeling once the clock hit zero. I mean, there was no better feeling in the world at that time.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes the best memories aren't necessarily the ones where you're like really racking up the stats. But
Mhm.
certainly the wins are the most important moments. Isaiah, again, uh, already two-time first team all conference. What's it going to take to do it again, man? How are you going to finish strong this year?
To do it again, I mean, obviously, I feel like I'm gonna have to play better than what I did the last 2 years. Obviously, as time goes on, players get better, teams get better, um, and so you just can't you can't go out there with the same I guess mentality. You can't go out there with the same talent. You can't go out there with the same work. You gotta change it up and find a way to be better always. And to finish out the season strong, I mean, I'd say if anything, just probably staying healthy. If anything, obviously with it being 20 plus a game, you just gotta stay healthy and keep going. You know what I mean?
20 plus, 30 plus. We'll see what the record is for you before this season is up, man. Dude, they're certainly leaning on you for some wins here, and hopefully you get some more here as the season progresses. Let's do take a moment to meet this Isaiah Boss outside of football, outside of sports a little bit. Tell me about yourself. Any interesting facts, your hobbies, other things that you want to mention. If you have perhaps any hidden secret talents or whatever the heck you want to share about yourself, hit me with it.
Okay. Outside of football, I'm really big into D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. It's not, a thing I tell to a lot of people because a lot of people don't understand that. But yeah, I'm really big into D&D, really big into anime. I would consider myself sort of a gamer, although I really only do it for fun. Um, I like to read sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I like to just sit back with a snack and a book and just kind of lose myself in the pages. Um, I really like long drives. I don't know why, but a drive that takes 2, 3, 4 hours, I got no complaints there. Um,
Well, maybe it's the scenery, maybe it's whatever you're
mhm.
listening to in the car. Do you listen to books or are you jamming to something?
Oh, I'm definitely jamming to music, mostly R&B, if anything. Big
Oh,
R&B guy.
okay, what's your vibe, man? Who's one of your favorites?
One of my favorites, Alicia Keys. Really big Alicia Keys fan.
Hey, everybody has their thing, so
Mhm.
all power to you. I do want to piggyback off a couple of things that you had said. Again, big into D&D, some anime, and a bit of a reader. Is there a book that you'd recommend me that you'd say is a good one recently that you've read?
I can give you two series. They're my favorite all times. I'd read them back, I think, my first year of high school. One being Gregory the Overlander, I believe. It's been a couple years since I read it, but if I remember correctly, I think that's the overall title of the series. And another series called Charlie Bone.
Charlie Bone. I actually
Mhm.
see that one every so often when I go to the bookstore.
Yeah,
But certainly
it's a good
interesting.
little series to read.
And I see there in the background something there, spider, whatever. I'm assuming you're a big, I guess, comic book guy too, or what?
I wouldn't say comic book, just a big Marvel fan, if anything, and
Okay.
Spider-Man slash Miles Morales fan.
Hey, good enough. Good enough. Favorite anime.
Favorite anime, Hunter x Hunter.
All right, good deal. And trying to think if there's anything else that I can ask you here real quick before we wrap up. Is there perhaps a skill or talent that you wish you had? Sometimes people they look at other people who just can do stuff that they can't. Like for me, like dude, I wish I could run as fast as you, for example. But
Mhm.
like that's just never gonna happen. But stuff like that. Give me maybe some sort of talent. Doesn't necessarily have to be athletics, something else.
Mhm. Uh, this one's a little embarrassing to admit. I wish I could juggle. For the life of me, I've tried so many times. I've tried to learn how to do it, especially for someone that I try to work on my hand-eye coordination a lot, but juggling is just one thing that I really wish I could do. I feel like it'd be fun to be able to like just randomly do that at times of the day. But yeah, I wish I could be able to juggle.
YouTube videos, man, they're out there. There's
Mhm.
different types of juggling. So I got mocked one time at a Ren fair. for saying that I did monkey juggling. So like I don't know. That's what the person told me I did. And so anyhow,
Okay.
um, Isaiah, do need to wrap things up. It's been fun.
Okay.
Again, a guy who I feel scouts need to know, who is tearing it up in his conference and is hoping to finish strong this year. Go ahead and give us your pitch. Talk to all those scouts out there. Tell them what kind of player they'd be getting if they took a chance on you. Go for it.
A player who in the backfield would do anything to help the team win, help the offense produce, and just try to always produce in any sort of way, whether it be running, catching the ball. I take blocking for the quarterback very seriously. It's kind of one of the big things that I always try to improve on, especially with me being somewhat of a smaller guy. It's just one thing that I really critique myself on very heavily. But yeah, just someone that at the end of the day wants to win, no matter what I got to do for the offense at that point. As long as by the end of the game, we got more points than the other team. That's all I care for.
Great. Well, again, Isaiah, I want to wish you best of luck this season and beyond. Seems like you have a lot of interests here that you know have to spend your time, but of course, got to finish this season strong, and just want to wish you all the
Mm-hmm.
best. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Once again, Isayah Boss. He's a boss on the field. You can give him the ball because he's a workhorse. So again, running back from Minnesota Morris. Check him out.